the last flames of humanity. The sun hung low in a blood-red sky, casting an eerie glow over the crumbling ruins of what once was a thriving city. Smoke billowed into the air, a thick, acrid cloud that choked the last remnants of life. From the streets, the air was filled with an unsettling silence, broken only by the distant sounds of chaos. The crackling of flames, the wails of the lost, and the guttural laughter of creatures that had risen from the depths of nightmares. It all began with whispers, prophecies of doom spread by those who claimed to have seen visions of hell. Most dismissed them as the ramblings of the insane. But as the first signs of catastrophe began to unfold, fear gripped the world. Natural disasters ravaged the land. Earthquakes shattered cities, hurricanes tore families apart, and wildfires consumed forests in a frenzy. But these were merely the prelude to a far more sinister event. On that fateful night, as the moon hung high and full, the skies darkened and the ground trembled violently. People rushed into the streets, desperate to understand the chaos unfolding around them. Then, without warning, portals of fire erupted across the globe, tearing the fabric of reality itself. From these fiery rifts emerged demonic entities, their forms twisted and grotesque, with eyes like burning coals and claws that glinted in the dying light. Cities fell one by one, engulfed in flames and despair as the demons wreaked havoc. They fed on the fear and suffering of humanity, their laughter echoing in the burning ruins. The once bustling streets were now deserted, save for the occasional flicker of movement as shadows darted between the wreckage. It was said that the demons could sense the last remnants of hope, and they hunted those who dared to resist. In a hidden bunker beneath the city, a small group of survivors gathered. Among them was Clara, a determined young woman who had lost everything to the inferno. Her family, her friends, her very sense of security. As she looked around at the frightened faces illuminated by the faint glow of a dying flashlight, she felt a surge of resolve. They had to fight back. "Listen," Clara said, her voice steady despite the fear clawing at her insides. "We can't just hide. We have to find a way to close those portals and stop these demons. If we don't, we'll lose everything." With a mix of trepidation and determination, the survivors crafted a plan. They scoured the remnants of the city, searching for anything that could aid them. A relic, a weapon, or even an ancient text that might hold the key to banishing the demons back to the hell they came from. Each day was a battle against the creeping darkness, and each night brought the threat of discovery. As they delved deeper into the city's heart, they uncovered an old library, its shelves charred but still standing. Within its ashes, they found a tome bound in cracked leather, its pages filled with forbidden knowledge. It spoke of rituals and incantations, of ways to harness the power of light to combat the dark. But time was running out. The demons grew bolder, their raids becoming more frequent and violent. Clara and her group knew they had to act fast. With the last remnants of hope coursing through their veins, they gathered at the sight of the largest portal, its flames licking the air like the tongues of hell itself. As they began the ritual, chanting the ancient words, the ground shook violently, and the demons emerged in greater numbers, their eyes gleaming with malice. Clara felt her heart race as they surged forward, but she pressed on, her voice rising above the chaos. The air crackled with energy, and a blinding light erupted from the center of the portal. In that moment, the demons recoiled, their laughter turning to shrieks of rage. The ground split open beneath them, and fiery tendrils began to pull them back into the abyss. Clara's heart soared at the sight, but she knew they weren't out of danger yet. The light grew brighter, illuminating the terrified faces of her friends, and with a final surge of strength, Clara shouted the last words of the incantation. The portal imploded in a burst of energy, sending a shockwave that knocked everyone off their feet. When the dust settled, the demons were gone, and the city stood in a haunting silence. Though the fires still burned, a flicker of hope remained. Clara and the survivors emerged from the rubble, battered but alive. The world was forever changed, but in that moment, they understood the power of resilience and the strength of unity against the dark. As they looked towards the horizon, they knew the fight was far from over, but they were ready to face whatever came next.